Okay, so we're back. I love this time of the afternoon. This is when I get to sort of reach back, pull some friends back into the spotlight, and allow them the opportunity to share something good. So, I love getting filled up with all of that good stuff. Today is a great one. I get to welcome MMG. My man Derek Hodes, he and I have an amazing history. We had lots of laughs for the short period of time I spent in the radio business, but I knew he was a class A guy then. He's built a great career as the CEO of his own company. And there are tons of things that he's going to share that are really, really good. Derek Hodes, tell me something good.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's been a wild ride, and you and I go back just thinking for a quick second. Right before my daughter was born, so 17,
Holy
18
cow.
years have come and go, and just a little less hair for it, but it's still there. But
You
yeah,
got to get
things
the
are.
razor out, man. You got to take the razor and shave
I'm
that stuff.
trying. I don't know. It's hard to compete. Look at you. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. Before we jumped onto this, yeah, we all kind of hit pause, if you will, mid March, and it's been wild. From really great conversations about trying to get back there as fast as we can to conversations where people just don't see the end of the kind of see the light. And I think that you have to always fight for the light, and that's what I'm
Which I
looking
really
for.
like that. I really, really like that a lot. I mean, one of the things, so wow, I didn't even realize it was 17 years ago. But one of the things when we both landed in the radio business, I think we connected because we didn't listen to all the outside shit. We just knew the job. You came as a sales professional. We both came from different categories, but there was all this clamor about here's what you need to do in it. And we just said, no, let's get to
Yeah.
it. So you've been a sales professional, you've had adversity before. This one's a little different, but
Yeah.
I love what you've done with your company. I love watching you succeed. One of the assets that you work on, we shared in common. I spent many years with the Mercedes corporate run. You took it over and have done amazing things with it.
Thank
So
you.
give us an update about what's happening with the corporate run and what's coming up shortly that people can actually get involved, get off their asses and do something.
Sure, sure. And that's the key thing, right? Let's just stay motivated. Let's stay positive. Let's keep pushing forward. Let's fight for that light. Um, the event is 35 years now. This is the 35th anniversary of the event, and I've been personally involved in kind of carrying the torch. It was started a long time ago, before 35 years. I mean, I was a baby, well, almost. Um, I just hit 50, by the way, so that's fun. I don't know if it
Six
counts
zero.
during.
Six.
None of it counts during this time frame, by the way. It's all
Yeah.
do over. But yeah, we've gone the virtual route, like so many have, for a lot of reasons. But one of the things that we realized is we needed a little bit of a different twist. um, we're looking to go with this virtual route on the 19th of August, and we felt that by that time there would be so many people playing that virtual game, whether it's played well or not. At some point, it gets to be a challenge. How engaging can you be on a computer, on a TV in someone's bedroom? So we wanted to try to bring over some element that we felt that people could really latch onto and be excited about. So typically people show up before the race starts at 6:45 p.m. They engage in this 15-minute or so live warm up, get your heart going, get your brain going, get your body moving. And we said we need to still do that. We need to be relevant. We need to still do that. So we've had a long time partnership, even though the event is a nonprofit. We've had a long time partnership with the United Way, and I reached out to him. I said, "Look, the corporate run is all about connecting people, networking, friends, coworkers, all shapes and sizes. It doesn't matter even if you're a runner. Just be there. Just be caught up in something good." United Way, doesn't get better connecting business to business, right? So we flexed our muscle. We're coming together on the 19th, 6 o'clock. We're going to do a live warm up broadcast at their facility outside, of course, with all the safety
Nice.
measures in place, all of that. But that's what we're going to do. So we're inviting everybody to tune in at that moment, 6 p.m. to take part in this, bring everyone together, and then out the door you run. Of course, not everyone can make it that evening, so we're going to have 4 or 5 days where people can still watch the video online and go run. But we want to bring it down to the last minute where we even fire the cannon, and you get that excitement. So again, it's not everything's not apples to apples, but it's what you make it up here, right? So if you want to be excited about it, you want to get people engaged, you want to get your coworkers. I just got an email actually before I got on the line with you, being shared by a school up in the Broward area where they're so excited about it that Thursday they're getting all their people together to run the event on Thursday. They're going to do social distancing. So there's people out there. We just haven't reached everyone yet that are clamoring for something. And whether it's corporate run or whatever, but they're clamoring for something.
So I remember, obviously, I was involved in it for, when I first opened up On the Ball, and I met Lori and Hans and the whole team at Team Footworks, who are amazing people. For me, the sponsorship side represented a chance for me to talk to any corporation because it was really the world's largest office party. And it still sort of remains that way, and the way it's grown and how you've activated stuff for sponsors, but it does promote a healthy lifestyle, running, walking, all the things that happen there. So is there going to be only one event, or are they going to divide it into counties like it was before?
Yeah, no, solid question. So what we realized is, of course, we're going to have less numbers. There's no way. I mean, we have 40,000 people basically last year, close to it, right? It's 35 years. I mean, you were a tremendous steward. That's all I can do, right? Just keep moving the ball forward. I keep using all your cliches. I'm not trying on purpose, but they just seem to be bubbling up. But yes, we're doing one race, culminating everyone into that one moment, and we're pacing to do about 20,000 people.
No kidding! Wow, that's phenomenal! Wow,
yeah,
that speaks to the people involved. That speaks to the heritage of the event. I love that. I really.
I mean, it's still it's still the hairs on the back of my neck stand up because there are tremendous causes out there. There's heart walks, there's all kinds of events. Really the only goal of this event is to make people happy and make them healthier. There's no hidden agenda. There's no other reason but to unite people. So I'm really hopeful people get behind it, get excited about it, see what 35 years of going this path is, and we're excited to kind of get it in the books and start for 2021.
So I'm excited to use my network and to use this platform to help share it, and I'll do whatever I can. What I want to do is I want to shift the conversations a little bit.
Sure.
So you spend most of your career as a sales guy, and then you crossed that bridge to becoming an entrepreneur. So I want to focus on that, if we will, if we can, because being an entrepreneur comes with all sets of challenges. So if you can sort of share with the audience, what were your keys to making that decision, number one, and number two is, what do you continually have to do to get yourself in a position where you provide successful solutions and things like that? What's the mindset that you're living in?
It's tough, right? It's a very fluid moment, and I never realized how powerful your brain can be until you're really put to the test. It's a daily push. Not gonna lie, it's a daily push. The gyms, for instance, was a place by me I go to a lot. Open type facility. Find great motivation going there, but over the last couple of months, I've kind of stayed away. Either they've been closed or I've just been hesitant to go there.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, but I think my biggest motivators really are my kids, because I'm like, I can't afford to fail. And so I want, every time I wake up or every time I'm in a position where I kind of feel, like I'm not winning, I turn to them to feel better about moving forward.
Love it.
And that's for me. That's not necessarily for everybody, but that's me. So.
No, you know, I think one of the reasons why I love this platform is that people find that they can relate to real people, real stories about, hey, listen, you know, people have talked about, hey, we're all in this together. I think that's bullshit because everybody's got their own unique set of circumstances of how they were pre-pandemic, how the pandemic is affecting them. Let's go back for your business. MMG is how old?
God, you know, 15, roughly
Wow,
15
incredible.
years.
Good for you.
You know, and working with all sorts of events, from running events to art shows to auto shows.
So why don't you share with
Project.
the audience what it is MMG does? What are you really good at? And sort of then we can talk about some other questions beyond
I
that.
think I think the key thing is connecting, helping people to connect. If I can believe in what I'm in front of, what that platform is, it doesn't matter, you know, what it is, as long as I feel like it's good and I can genuinely pass that through to the next person, then I think I can succeed with it. We can succeed with it. And it could be anything. It could be something that's, you know, 500 people or 500,000 people. It's got to feel right. It's kind of like putting on a pair of shoes, right? It's like, you know, right away. It either feels good. And I think for guys like me that sit in these positions to work with events and management, you know, management's got to be on the ball too. They've got to, you know,
Ding, ding,
it,
ding.
yeah, you're out there, right? It's like, it's tough enough to be on the outside. So when you come back in and you're working with management, they got to have your back. And so, you know, we've worked with a lot of different types of events, like I said, large, small, and produce some of our own events as well. And you start to really see all sides of it. But I think in this moment in time, I'm getting a lot of questions from events I'm working with. What do we do? What do we do? And I say to them, we just got to keep being relevant. We got to keep pushing
Great.
forward. You know, and it's funny what we're allowed to do here in Dade County, or what people are comfortable with, versus even up in Palm Beach County, is vastly different. So, and the conversations are different too. So you know, for me, again, I'm trying to look to different people, yourself, other people that I admire, to my children, to just, you know, keep moving. So.
It's cool. You know, I have found, that's why I love you know, our conversations, that it really has never really, nobody has any reference point to look at, like, okay, well, you know, 20 years ago this happened. This is sort of really new to everybody. What I know that is really happening, and it's happening at scale, is that it's really a help economy. It's like legitimately offering help to people is making a difference. I mean, I think in the past people would say, "Yeah, how can I help you?" and they sort of half-assed meant it. Now they're really like, "What can I do to help?" And sort
Well,
of the universe can
everyone, yeah.
be better placed for that.
Yeah, I mean, and people need to. The key thing is be relevant. You got to be relevant. You know, in terms of that, I'm learning that every day. It's like, if I'm going to make a call to somebody to try to win them over on something, but what? Why? What am I doing? What's the end
Right.
result? Just to get them to write a check, because they'll see through that.
Correct.
You
Those
know?
days are those days of transactional selling, as I talk about in all of my work, are over. I mean, people don't want to just be sold stuff. You know, I think guys like you and me who invested in relationship selling years ago, I mean, you're still doing stuff with BMW, and correct? I mean, those are
Yeah, yeah. And
relationships.
funny enough, funny enough, Tony Coley over
Yeah,
at yeah,
BB&T. Yeah.
yeah, which, you know, they went through a huge change. They became Truist Bank now,
Right.
and roughly 7 years ago or so, BB&T Bank was a big partner of the event, big partner, and I had met Tony at the time, and you know, he ran one of the markets, and, you know, down here in South Florida. Long story short, the category for the banking became back open, and always, every step of the way, I just, you know, just kind of stayed in touch, just saying, hey, how are you, kind of thing. And he went to Orlando and came back, and now he's running the market, as you know.
He's the man.
He's the man. He's a solid guy. Love him. And I sat down with him. I said, look, here's what's happening. You know who we are. You know what we're about. We'd love to have you back. And like that, he said yes. And and I mean, it's, actually I shouldn't say like that. It was a year that he was back, so it took a little time. But once he, some things cleared up in terms of just how business is. I mean, I always relate to what I do in sponsorship. I look at it as like a hamster wheel. Get on the wheel. It's and you have to just stay with it. You got to stay with it. Eventually it comes around. So anyway, I share that relationship because we both have that in common.
Yeah.
And it was
he's a really smart guy. He played football at Miami. And, but when you get to know him, he's a tremendous human being. And so why wouldn't you want a guy like that in your life? The value he's brought to me far out exceeds the transactional money that we've exchanged for some of the trainings I've done there and some of the sponsorship I've done with him. But it's pales in comparison to our friendship. And, he did my podcast when we were doing it in studio, and he gave me the 10 P's that drive his life. He's an awesome, smart guy who has lived it. His relationship to football and how football manages. So I'm actually glad you brought him up. I didn't know that he was working with the corporate run, but listen, again, I'll go back to when I first, started working with them. It was the first asset that On the Ball really had, where we were the only ones selling it. And our pitch was, we don't want to sell it to you. We just want to share the assets and what it's, are you interested in speaking to the business community? I think people still are, and you nailed it. They want to talk to them in a relevant way. They still have access to all of the companies down here, which they always did. They always had all kinds of stuff going on with the captain's parties, and so it's
and really, to their credit, they're great stewards of that information. They protect it well, and they do right by those 1,200 companies that year in and year out come and support that event. It's grown. It's had its aches and pains like any event. And I'm just after 35 years, it doesn't end here. It can't end here.
No, will
so
not.
So we have to kind of claw our way to a place where we get moving again and feel good again.
Well, I'm happy to spend time with you now, which we're doing. I'm happy to share it with my audience. I'm also happy to whiteboard with you and come up with some new ideas, on how to move that forward. I have a strong spot in my heart for it. I credit a lot of our early success to having that asset and being able to deliver it. So it's great catching up with you in our final minute or so. What would you want to share with the audience about something good? Just anything that you want to leave us with.
Something good. Interesting. I don't feel like I'm 50. So turned 50 in June. Turned 50 in June, and I was sitting the other night. I was saying, I was like, it's actually interesting in the moment that we're in, and I'm sure a lot of people are going through that aha moment. But the moment we're in, it's a real opportunity for a reset. It really is. There's a lot of, obviously there's people in jobs that are, kind of just full steam ahead. What they've done, this is not really affecting them. But for guys like me, for companies like mine that are in this kind of moment, it's a real opportunity to reset and rethink how I want the next 50 years of my life to be.
I think that is really incredibly well said. I turned 60 in June, and clearly I'm not living in what I thought a 60-year-old's head would be. So I think it's awesome. You've been a great guest. I'm thrilled that we have our friendship and our partnership, and I will post and do everything I can for the corporate run. You're the best. Let's stay in touch. And
all right, Stevie.
You
too.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.